Namaste and greetings, my dear, my beautiful, my wonderful and amazing souls. Believe it or not, but again, I am going to use the MILO MONAR deck. Very erotic, very deep, in spite of the fact it's very erotic, and a very brutal. I even have my red candle here, red shiny candle. Believe it or not, this candle I kept from Christmas time because this is when they make this kind of candle, but I loved it so much that I was using it little by little. And now for this reading, I am going to use it. What else can answer such question as the one I want to ask? MILO MONAR, erotic, brutal, to the core deck, than this question. How he, if you are a woman, she, if you are a man, but most of you are women, how he or how your partner, how he, if you are a woman, how she, if you're a man, wants you to behave in love or intimacy secretly. It's not something he will to me it's easier to say he, because I am a woman and most of you are women, so to me it's easier to say he. But if you're a man, for you it would be she. How he secretly wants you to behave. He fantasizes, wants, desires for you to behave this way, if not always and sometimes, if not everywhere, probably when you are only you and him and a candle and a fireplace and a surface where you are going to make love with each other or to each other, however you consider right. We will look into the deck of MILO MONAR. 5 cards. Choose one. How he wants you to behave secretly. He doesn't want to say it, but he wants it. Card number 1. Card number 2. MILO MONAR. Please write me in comments if you want me to teach you the meanings of MILO MONAR. If you want me to make a course about this deck, I can do it on Patreon. Card number 3, card number 4, card number 5. He wants you to behave like this secretly. Doesn't want you to know about it. And we'll go straight to it. Let's put it like this. Card number 1. I always see this card. Looks like this is repeating and repeating and repeating itself. We see a very shocking card of Fifth Arcana High the Priest, the Hierophant. The Hierophant, how he wants you to behave, believe it or not, secretly. That's not surprisingly. Hierophant, you see that the man passing by the steps of the temple, I already told you, and this is not surprisingly, because a man who has an attire and outside of a hierophant very often secretly desires its so-called shadow. Carl Gustav Jung described it as a shadow people are afraid to look into, and you see a woman sitting like that on those steps, shockingly behaving like that. What does it mean? That he would never tell you this, but he likes to be epataged by a woman, provoked by a woman. Because now we're looking into the meaning, what this man secretly wants, how he secretly wants you to behave. And it means that we are dealing with a couple where you and this man, you have different points of view. But unfortunately, it might affect your intimacy. But at the same time, he wants secretly to be provoked, and a woman who behaves shamelessly as this woman here, shockingly shamelessly. I have to tell you that as I am a part of a group, which I'm very proud that I am part of a group of professional psychologists. Among them are psychotherapists and sexologists. There is a profession which is sexology, which is a huge part of our life. And one of them, a man who had been doing it for over 20 years, he says that this is usual that a man, I think this had been told many years ago, that a man wants a chef in the kitchen, a best friend, an advisor in his wife when she is not in the kitchen, and a courtesan, or sorry, my language even, I don't want to say a bad word, but a very shameless, even shockingly shameless, a woman when this woman is in bed with him. So a perfect woman, perfect wife is the chef in the kitchen, an advisor, a best friend, supporter in everyday life, and shameless, provoking courtesan when they are as lovers. So this is not surprising, but this also might include such fantasies in this man as what he himself openly will say, this is unacceptable, but secretly he would want provocative, shameless behavior what comes to sexual intimate relationship from the woman he is with. Now, maybe advice, I don't tell you, maybe behave like this, but, maybe some pretty beautiful, I don't know, lingerie, some candles, some soft light, some perfume, seduce your husband, your man, your boyfriend, bring something new into your relationship, refresh it, be full of mysteries again for him. All right, number 2, let's see. We are having King of Water in here, which is in classical deck, of course, would be naturally King of Cups. So what would he want? King of Cups is rather easy to explain, especially if you are dealing with the King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. He wants to be seduced. He wants to be completely taken by a surprise. He wants to feel fire in his each cell. Unfortunately, they are players. We are looking at MONAR. Unfortunately, they are easily charming any woman. It's a type of a man who can seduce a nun. So he feels and he knows how to manipulate, how to press emotional buttons on his partner. He knows, he feels, he's deep and he's intuitive. Unfortunately, he's using his charm in his relationship with people. But how he wants to behave, how he wants you to behave secretly, as I already said, he wants to be seduced. He wants to be surprised. He wants to feel that fire in his blood. He wants to be surprised, which is difficult to surprise King of Cups, but he wants to be captured in your net. He secretly wants to find such a woman which is capable to turn his world upside down. Because unfortunately the problem with King of Cups, or the MILO MONAR version of King of Cups, that he gets bored very quickly. He had seen it all, done it all, because this is what usually they experiment, and it was a lot of things. So he secretly wants such a woman which is gonna capture him fully and never get boring. So it's a woman who is capable to be different, who is capable to surprise. And of course, very seductive and very seductive, let's say. Such a woman which is radiating the sexual sensuality and sexuality. And again, I repeat it, and I already explained to you many times that the way you look doesn't matter. And again, all those, many of those psychologists and sexologists would tell you many thousands of times, it doesn't matter how you look, your weight, you need to look like you take good care of yourself, but it's you radiating this self, you're radiating this self-sufficiency, that you are adoring and love and admire yourself. If you have the body of Miss Universe, but you radiate this, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. Doesn't matter if you look like Miss Universe, if you radiate this shame, guilt, and not feeling beautiful, it's not going to be radiating what you want. You can be a very ordinary looking woman, but if you radiate this, I am sensuality, I am Venus, I am Aphrodite, I am desirable, I am loved, I am the quintessence of sensuality itself, then yes, he's gonna see it and he's gonna feel it. So be a hunter, be this a wild Amazon woman, be this goddess. So he is willingly get captured by your nets and stays there forever. he wants this fatum, female fatale, chercher la femme. He wants this female fatale. He likes to be captured. He likes to also have a partner who enjoys every moment of love making, touching, so on and so on. So this is what he wants, how he wants you to behave. Okay, what a deck, right? Like, gets to the core. Let me know if you want me to teach you this deck. Number 3. Oh boy. Okay, we already seen this one. We already seen this is major arcana. We had seen it in other reading. In classical deck, this is the Wheel of Fortune. In the deck of Tarot of MILO MONAR, this is a mirror. The name of this card is Mirror. So he, how to tell you, in this relationship, what comes to this card, usually one partner or both are very egocentric, only concentrating on themselves, but we are asking different question here. We are asking how he wants you to behave secretly, and it means that he wants to be a center of your universe. So he wants you to put his interest, of course it's up to you to do it or not. You know that it's not very healthy to do it, not healthy at all, but he wants you to put him on pedestal. He wants you to put his interests, his desires, his wishes to the most fundamental things in your life, to be the center of your universe, to be your sun, your moon, your everything. He unfortunately wants to rise his self-esteem, his self-worth at your expense. It's unfortunately he's not ready to give it back, or wanting or wishing to give it back. We are looking at one question, how he wants you to behave secretly, but this is how he wants. How about in intimacy? The same thing. Please me. Okay, there was a song. I don't remember what was the song and where I heard it, but it was having such words. Please me. Okay. Please me, a woman, please me, and allow me to just enjoy. Please me again and again and again. Forget about yourself completely. Make it about me. Please me, my pleasures, my joy, my satisfaction, my. So this is what he wants. Would you take it into consideration? Up to you, but that's how he wants you to behave. This is the answer. Now we are going to the next card, and the next card is number 4. Oh, and we have a Knight of Water. Again, if we are talking zodiac, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but we're not really taking much into consideration the zodiac signs right now. We want to look at the meaning. So you see water, and you see a man in not in water, like swamp, and horse is on the shore. So what this man wants, he considers at the moment your relationship, what comes to behavior in love and or intimacy, that it became Again, I'm just telling you the meaning of the card. In relationship, it's kind of like became a routine. It became kind of like the same thing over and over again. And even though there is emotional involvement here, as we are talking about Knight of Water, but it became kind of like nothing new, nothing exciting is happening, nothing developing anyhow, kind of like boring. So try how he wants you to behave. He wants it to become somewhat more exciting, somewhat different, somewhat, to add some sparks into that water. Because sex to this man, to the Knight of Water, sex means a lot, because this is an emotional night. And it's like probably the biggest aspect in his life, the most important, this part of his life to be harmonious. So he wants it to be, I would say, something to long for, something to looking forward to, something exciting, something new, something opening every time, new aspect of your relationship, or each other, him to you, you to him. Of course, this, if it's been for years people had been living together, this is normal when it becomes kind of like routinish and not as exciting as it used to be. And I'm not a sexologist to give you advice as how you can, spice up your intimate relationship. I think you can dig into, I don't know, some YouTube channels and or some articles and figure it out. But at the same time, the good thing, what I can tell you about this relationship based on this card is that people pretty involved into each other, but the routine needs to be spiced up, not just intimate routine but everyday routine. Maybe, travel somewhere, go somewhere, see new faces, new places, someone, something big, because something different, because your feelings are deep for each other, and they're rather good, but just try to spice up your routine, read books together, watch movie together, discuss it, learn something together. I don't know, go to the painting lesson together, travel together, experiencing something together, share your excitement with each other, something like this. Yes, you have deep feelings for each other, but it became kind of a little bit of boring, so he wants you to participate in some excitement for him. And the last one in this spread, aren't you like, I am amazed with MILO MONAR, because I did not take MILO MONAR into my hands for years, for many years, because of the way MILO MONAR is. But like, it's amazing how true this deck is. So number 5. Okay, well, that's a little shocking, but again, you don't, this is not surprisingly, I think a lot of sexologists probably are, this one is two of Earth or Two of Pentacles. But again, like the very first card was Hierophant, A lot of sexologists will tell you that the man, if you ask him, would you want me to behave like this, he would say, no, never. I would never want to deal with a woman like this. At the same time, this is what they secretly want. It's a shadow again, Carl Gustav Jung shadow. So what do you see on this card? You see, so this bench, okay, and a man was sitting quietly, kind of a very shy looking man. He was sitting quietly on this bench. Suddenly, a very, 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 very beautiful woman sits next to him, with this long legs and very attractive. And she starts behaving very harshly and shockingly for him. And as you can see, she just grabs him with her hand by a certain part of his body. He is completely shaken and puzzled. He's all red, but he's at the same time, he's not just jumping up and running away. Of course, completely different meaning than Two of Pentacles in classical deck. So this is what he wants, how he wants you to behave secretly. Like initiative. Please, depends on what kind of man you're dealing with, if you know him recently, I don't know, you need to think before you completely coming and sharply grab him by a certain parts of him, but it's up to you. But I can tell you that probably this is maybe the fantasy of a lot of men. So because everyone expects initiative from a man, and men loved to be seduced, especially if you've been with this man for a long time, or you've been married to this man. It's like showing him that, how the song says it, let's make some fire. So he wants you to be flirty. He wants you to act like, maybe make a little game, maybe pretend like you've just met, maybe call him on his phone and let him say, let's pretend that it's our first date. I don't know, just it's a game. Just play with him. Seduce your husband if you're married, even if you're married for 20 years. He wants like probably a fantasy of a man about this very shockingly sexual and sensual woman. Show him interest, show him impulse, show him. I think this is especially advice if you've been knowing each other for a very long time. Usually I see this card, now what my husband wants, from me, what would he want, and you see this card. People already known each other for a long time, and if you say, listen, go seduce your husband, and she would say, are you crazy? We have 5 children and we've been married 32 years. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Have him lose his head all over for you. Have him fall madly in love with you all over again. Be impulsive, be unpredictable, be all new for him, show you a side to him which he's never seen, or he forgot how it was. Maybe this is what the answer is. This is what the card is saying. But at the same time, advice, act carefully and slowly, slowly and carefully. if you're gonna grab him by some parts, may be very gentle and tender, and I don't know, maybe come to him from his back when he's I don't know, cutting some potatoes or whatever he's doing, and slowly hug him from the back and bite him gently on his earlobes. I don't know, like something like this. This is what the cards say. I don't know. I'm having too much fun with MILO MONAR. Being honest with you, the more I'm working with this deck, the more fun I have with this deck. I wanted to do such a reading. I hope it was useful for you. Of course, apply the advices accordingly with your own particular situation. And maybe, write me an email how it was. Now, don't write me email with details, but say, we had such great time, And suddenly he says that he fell in love with me all over again. Namaste, and I will talk to you later.